Ever wonder how you can order something online and it just shows up at your door, sometimes in a day or two, from halfway across the world? It feels like magic, right? Well, it's not magic. It's a complex, hidden digital infrastructure that makes it all happen. In this explainer, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at the digital backbone that powers pretty much every modern business you can think of.
You know the ceiling, right? You deal with one company, and it's seamless. Everything just works. It's like a perfectly conducted symphony. But then you deal with another company, and it's just chaos, pure noise. You talk to 5 different people, and nobody knows what's going on. So what's the difference? What's the secret that separates the symphonies from the noise?
Well, it's not just about having good people, though that helps. The real secret is all about information. See, in a lot of companies, each department is its own little island. Finance has its data over here, marketing has its data over there, and production is on a whole other continent. The key is to build bridges between those islands and get that information flowing freely. Now, building these bridges didn't just happen overnight. It's been a long journey, starting with simple tools that did one thing and evolving into something that's, well, kind of like a central brain for the entire company. So how did we get here? Let's take a quick trip back in time. It all kicked off back in the 70s with something called MRP. Super simple, really. It just helped factories keep track of their materials. Then in the 80s, we got MRP II, which was a bit smarter. It started thinking about the machines and the people doing the work. But the real game changer, that landed in the 90s with ERP, which had this huge, audacious goal to connect every single piece of the business. And this chart really lays it all out. You can see how we went from just focusing on one little part of the factory floor to thinking about the whole company, and finally to making big strategic decisions for the entire corporation. It's a story about expanding vision, from managing a few nuts and bolts to steering this massive corporate ship.
Okay, so we've landed on ERP, this big solution for connecting everything. Let's dive a little deeper into this so-called corporate brain and see what really makes it tick.
So what is an ERP, really? Just think of it like this. It's one single piece of software, one central nervous system that touches every part of the company. Finance, HR, manufacturing, sales, you name it. Everybody is singing from the same song sheet. That's the whole idea. One system, one version of the truth.
But, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. This slide nails it. On one hand, you have the promise, right? This incredible vision of a perfectly oiled machine making smarter decisions, moving faster. But on the other hand, there's the challenge. And it is a huge challenge. These projects cost a ton of money, and you basically have to rebuild your company's processes from the ground up. It's the ultimate high-risk, high-reward bet.
All right, so far we've been really focused on what's happening inside the company. But what about the most important people of all, the customers? That's where our next system comes into play. It's time to shift our focus outwards. What if you knew absolutely everything about your customers? I mean, every purchase they've made, every question they've asked, every time they've even just looked at your website. That's the idea behind a CRM. It's all about managing every single interaction you have with a customer so you can build real, lasting relationships. And here's how it works in the real world. For the sales team, it's a gold mine for tracking deals. For marketing, it's a powerhouse for running campaigns. And for customer service, it means solving problems way, way faster. It brings all these teams together with one goal, creating a fantastic customer experience. So why is all this so important? Well, it really just comes down to this one number. Get this, it costs 6 times more to get a brand new customer than it does to just keep an existing one happy. 6 times. When you think about it like that, you realize that a great CRM isn't just a nice little tool, it's absolutely essential for staying in business. Okay, we've looked inside the company with ERP, we've looked at the customer with CRM, now let's zoom out and look at the whole shebang, the entire supply chain that gets a product from a pile of raw materials all the way to your front door.
Seriously? Have you ever stopped to think about the journey a product takes? From the farm or the mine to the factory to the warehouse to the truck to you? It's this incredibly complex dance with dozens of different companies involved. Supply chain management is the art of choreographing that entire dance. And man, is it a balancing act. You've got to perfectly predict how much people will want to buy. You have to process orders without a single mistake, and you've got to have rock-solid relationships with all your suppliers. Every single link in that chain has to be strong, or the whole thing can just fall apart. So we've got ERP for the inside, CRM for the customer, and SCM for the entire network. They're all pretty powerful on their own. But what happens when you plug them all in together? That's when things get really interesting. That's when you get the integrated company of the future.
And this right here, this is the aha moment. This is where it all clicks. See, the CRM on the right is your eyes and ears. It's listening to the customer, figuring out exactly what they want. Then it feeds that information directly into the ERP on the left, which is the engine room of your company. The ERP tells the factory what to build, tells finance who to bill. It's this beautiful, seamless loop that puts the customer right at the center of everything you do.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's actually pretty simple. When you connect all of your systems, you connect your entire company. You get one single source of truth. And that unified data lets you make smarter, faster decisions and serve your customers in ways you never could before.
So, we did it. We built the connected company. The information is flowing, the systems are talking to each other. But you know what? This is just the beginning. The real question is, now what? Now that we have all this data, all this intelligence, what are we going to do with it? What's the next great challenge we're going to solve? The future isn't written yet, but I can promise you one thing. It's going to be fascinating to watch.